Hi and welcome to my channel. I am Teenie Crochets and today I am going to be showing you how to crochet these super comfy and warm, adorable head balaclavas or hats or snoods, whatever you want to call them. For all the items you'll need to make these, check the description box below. But other than that, get your crochet hooks at the ready and let's get going. So I am going to begin with my super chunky yarn and a 10mm crochet hook. You can use a smaller hook, say an 8mm or a 9mm, if you want this hat to be smaller, but I just like it working with the 10mm hook. So with my chunky yarn, I am going to slip knot onto my hook and I am going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to be making a large granny square. So if you know how to make a granny square, you're going to do that to 5 rounds. But for those of you who've not made granny squares before or just need a reminder, I'm going to go through this step by step. So I have 3 chains. 1 chain is not counted and the second 2 chains are classed as a half double crochet. So into this first chain I'm going to do 2 more half double crochets. So into the third chain from hook, 2 half double crochets. 1 and 2. So I have a total of 3 half double crochets. I am then going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and back into that first chain I'm going to do another 3 half double crochets. So yarn over hook, insert hook into stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. So there are 3 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through 3 loops. So that was 1 half double crochet. I'm going to do another one and then another one. So I have another set of 3 half double crochets. I again am going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and I'm going to do another 3 half double crochets all into this space. 1, 2 and 3. And now I'm going to do another 2 half double crochets, 1 and 2, and into this space I'm going to do another 3 half double crochets, 3 half double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. Now to finish this round I'm going to chain 2 and I'm going to slip stitch into the second chain we made at the very beginning. So I'm going to slip stitch to join, chain 1 and cut my yarn. I'm only cutting the yarn because I'm going to change colour every row, but if you weren't going to change colour every row, slip stitch to the corner space, because what we have here is we have what we call 4 corners and that's where the chain 2s were. So these 4 corners are the chain 2s, and then in between all these corners we have 3 half double crochets, so we have a square. So if you were continuing to use the same colour, what I would do is slip stitch to the nearest corner and then you'll be in the position to carry on from round 2. For round 2 I'm going to be using a pink colour, so what I will be doing is alternating between red and pink, but you can do whatever colour that you prefer. So I'm going to show you how I choose to join my yarn, but you can use whatever method that you want. This I just feel is the most secure method. So I'm going to slip knot onto hook and into one of the corner squares. I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. So there are 2 loops on my hook. and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through both. So I have attached my yarn with a single crochet. I am then going to chain one. So in theory I have 2 chains, and this is going to count as a 1/2 double crochet. And you see this pesky tail? What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that in the background of my work, and for the next couple of stitches I'm going to crochet over that to weave it in, and it just means at the end of this project I'll have one less tail to weave in. So we have joined our yarn, we've joined it with a single crochet, and then we've done an extra chain, so we have 2 chains here, meaning a 1/2 double crochet. So I'm going to do a further 2 1/2 double crochets into this corner. 2 more 1/2 double crochets. 1 and 2. So we have 3 1/2 double crochets. I'm going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and into this same corner space I'm going to do another 3 1/2 double crochets. 1 2 and 3. So into that corner space we've done 3 1/2 double crochets, a chain 2 and 3 1/2 double crochets. I've also weaved in them ends, so I'm going to move them out the way now. Next we're going to jump straight over to this second corner space, and into this corner space I'm going to do 3 1/2 double crochets, chain 2 and another 3 1/2 double crochets, all into this corner. So 1 2 and 3, chain 2, 1 and 2, and another 3 1/2 double crochets. 1 2 and 3. So there we have our second corner done. We're now going to jump straight over to the third corner over here, and we're going to repeat everything we've just done. So into this space we're going to do another 3 1/2 double crochets, we're going to chain 2 and then do another 3 1/2 double crochets. 1 2 3, chain 2, 1 and 2, and another 3 1/2 double crochets. 1 2 and 3, and then into the last corner from the previous row we're going to repeat that again. So we're going to do another 3 1/2 double crochets, chain 2 and a 3 1/2 double crochets again, all into this space. 1 2 3, chain 2, 1 and 2, and then another 3 1/2 double crochets. 1 2 and 3. So now it's time to fasten off. So we are going to slip stitch into the second chain we made at the very beginning to join, and then chain 1 and cut the yarn. And that is the end of row 2. So continuing with row 3, we'll start with our red yarn again, and we're going to slip stitch onto hook. And again, if you were continuing with the same colour, I'd suggest that you slip stitch to the corner and then continue from where we're going to continue now. So with the slip stitch on our hook, insert your hook into any of the corners So a corner is classed as 3 half double crochet, chain 2, 3 half double crochet. That is what we are going to be calling a corner. And just for argument's sake, this gap I'm going to call the space between two clusters. And hopefully it'll make more sense in a second. So into any corner, insert our hook, yarn over to pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up through 2. So we have attached our yarn and done a single crochet, and then chain 1. So this I'm going to count as 2 chains, which will also be counted as a half double crochet. So into our corner space, let's do another 2 half double crochets. 1 and 2. So that will give us a total of 3 half double crochets. Now let's chain 2, 1 and 2. And into that same space, another 3 half double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. And I think it's time for us to zoom out. So there we go. So the next place we're going to be working is the gap between the next 2 clusters. So we have a gap, we have 3 half double crochets, and then we have a gap. And then we have another 3 half double crochets and a corner. So we are going to work these next stitches in this space between these 2 clusters. So into here we are going to do 3 half double crochets, and we are not going to do that into a stitch. We are going to go around and through the gap hole. So we're going to work them into the actual gap itself. We are not going into any stitches. So we're going to yarn over and then insert our hook right in the middle of that hole, right through. Yarn over, pull up a loop. So there are 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3. So that's our first half double crochet, and it's not gone through a stitch, it's gone right round that gap. So let's do another 2. 2 and 3. So we now have 3 half double crochets into that gap. The next space we have is a corner. So we are going, just put my phone on silent. So into this corner, we are going to do what we do in all our corners, which is 3 half double crochets, chain 2, 3 half double crochets. So 1, 2 and 3, chain 2, 1 and 2, and then half double crochet 3, all into the corner. 1, 2 and 3. We are now going to go to our next gap, which is between 2 sets of clusters, and we're going to do another 3 half double crochets into this space. 1, 2 and 3. Then we're back at another corner. So into this corner we're going to do 3 half double crochets, chain 2 and 3 half double crochets. 1, 1, let's do 2 again, 2 and 3, chain 2, 1 and 2, and then another 3 half double crochets into the same space. 1, 2 and 3. I've just realised these colours are very Valentine's Day colours, aren't they? Pink and reds. So next we go to the next gap, which is between 2 clusters. So into this space we're going to do 3 half double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. Next we are at a corner. So as you probably are aware, we are going to do 3 half double crochets, chain 2, 3 half double crochets, all into this corner. 1, 2 and 3, chain 2, 1 and 2, and then another 3 half double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, and then we're left with one more gap in this round, which is between 2 clusters. So into this gap we're going to do 3 half double crochets. 1, 2 and 3, and then to fasten off I'm going to slip stitch into the chain, the second chain we made at the beginning of this round. Chain 1. Oh, it's been difficult. Let's do that one again. Chain 1, slip stitch and chain 1, sorry, and then cut our yarn. And that is round 3. Round 4 we are back to pink, so let's slip knot onto our hook, go to any of the gaps, any of the corner gaps, insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and then chain 1. So we've done our first half double crochet. So for those of you who are understanding the pattern repeat at this point, into all the corners we will be doing 3 half double crochet, chain 2, 3 half double crochet. And then when we get to a space between 2 clusters, into that space we're just going to do 3 half double crochets, 3 half double crochets, back to a corner. So in the corner we do 3 half double crochets, chain 2, 3 half double crochets, and we'll repeat that all the way around. So if you need to, you can skip ahead, but I'll continue to show you how I do this round step by step, just for those who might need a little bit more time. So I've chained 2 in the corner. Now I'm going to do another 2 half double crochets into that space. 1 and 2. Then I'm going to chain 2 and another 3 half double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. So into the next gap we're going to do 3 half double crochets. 1, 2 and 3, and then into the next gap between the next 2 clusters another 3 half double crochets. 1, 2 and 3, and then we're at a corner, so 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1 and 2, and another 3 half double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. Then we're into a gap between clusters, so 3 half double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. Another gap between clusters, so another 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. We're at a corner, so 3 half double crochets. 1, 2 and 3, chain 2, 1 and 2, 3 half double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. 3 half double crochets into the next space. 1, 2, 3. 3 half double crochets into the next space. 1, 2 and 3. Then we're at our last corner, so into this corner we're going to do 3 half double crochets. 1, 2 and 3, chain 2, 1 and 2, and then another 3 half double crochets, 1, 2, 3, into the next gap, 3 half double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, and into the last gap, 3 half double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. And then we are going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 1 from the beginning of this round, chain 1 and cut our yarn and pull through. So we are now on to round 5, and this is the last conventional round, so the last complete round of the granny square, because on round 6 we do something a little bit different. So slip stitch or slip knot onto hook, insert hook into any corner, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then chain 1, our first half double crochet. So let's do another 2 half double crochets, 1 and 2. Let's chain 2, 1 and 2, and then do another 3 half double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. So into the next gap, 3 half double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. Into the next gap, 3 half double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. Into the next gap, 3 half double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. And then we're at a corner, so 3 half double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1 and 2, and then another 3 half double crochets into the corner, 1, oh alarm, doorbell, 1 sec, sorry about that, it was my new phone case. I've been waiting for this from Amazon for 2 days, so snazzy. Anyway, let's continue. So I was in the corner and I'd done 3 half double crochets, chain 2, 1 half double crochet, so another 2 half double crochets, 1 and 2. Into the next space, 3 half double crochets, 1, 2, 3. Into the next space, 3 half double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. Into the next space, 3 half double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. Then into the next space, which is a corner, 3 half double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, chain 2, 1 and 2, and then another 3 half double crochets, 1, 2, 3. Into the next space, 3 half double crochets, 1, 2, 3. Into the next space, 3 half double crochets, 1, 2 3. Into the next space, 3 half double crochets. 1, just get some more yarn. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're at a corner, so 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1 and 2, and then another 3 half double crochets. I get really itchy working with chunky yarn. It's like the fibres fly off and up my nose. So 3 more half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Into the next gap, 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Into the next gap, 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And into the last gap of this round, another 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And we are going to end this round by doing a slip stitch into the second chain of this round. Chain 1. Cut this yarn and pull through. The next round is the last round of this piece being separate. We've got one more round and then we're going to join 2 pieces together. It'll make sense again in a minute. So, back to pink, slip knot onto hook, and this isn't going to be exactly the same as the previous round. It's going to be a little bit different, so pay attention on this one. So, in the corner, I'm going to join my yarn and chain 1 for my first half double crochet, and then into this corner I'm going to do 2 half double crochets. 1 and 2, and that's it. We're not going to do a full corner in here. We're going to move straight over to the next gap and do 3 half double crochets into this gap. 1, 2, and 3. 3 half double crochets into the next space. 1, 2, and 3. 3 half double crochets into the next space. 1, 2, and 3. 3 half double crochets into the next space. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're at a corner, so we're going to do a standard corner here, which is 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1 and 2. 3 more half double crochets into this space. 1, 2, and 3. 3 half double crochets into the next space. 1, 2, and 3. 3 half double crochets into the next space. 1, 2, and 3. 3 half double crochets into the next space. Am I boring anyone yet? 1, 2, 3. 3 half double crochets into the next space. 1, 2, 3. Now we're at another corner and we're going to do a standard corner here. So another 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, another 3 half double crochets into that space. 1, 2, and 3 half double crochets into the next space, 1, 2, 3 half doubles into the next, 1, 2 and 3 half double crochets into the next space, 1, 2 and 3 half double crochets into the next, 1, 2 and 3, and we're now at the last corner of this round, and into this space we're just going to do 3 half double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, and then into the same space we're going to single crochet 2. So single crochet 2 into this space, 1 and 2, and now we're going to single crochet into the top of all these stitches on the last row. So we're going to single crochet across every stitch here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15, and then we are back at the first corner of this round, and into the corner we're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and then slip stitch into the chain, the second chain from the first stitch, chain 1, cut our yarn and pull through. And that is one side of our balaclava hat nude. I don't know what to call it. And now you have to go away and make another one exactly the same way we've made this one. But we also need to weave in the yarn ends because it'll just make the next part easier. So I'll show you quickly what I mean. So if we turn our work over where all the ends are, you'll notice that in the corner stitches where we crocheted the tail in behind our work, they've already been weaved in, so we can snip them straight off. So any tail that has been weaved in already or weaved crocheted in as we've gone, they can all be cut. So I think that, oh, one more, and now I need to manually weave the rest in. So because we're using chunky yarn, you're going to need a larger embroidery needle than normal. And what the concept of weaving in ends is moving your yarn tails in and out of your work so that they get lost, so that no matter what you do, they won't unravel your work. So it's called weaving in ends. So I'm going to put the end of one of my tails onto my embroidery needle, which is always a little bit more difficult when you're using chunky yarn, but there we go. And then what I'm going to do is I want to weave this tail, let me zoom in again, in and out of the work numerous times, basically getting it lost within the work. Do you see that? So I'm going to pull that through, and now that tail is weaved in enough for me, so I'm going to cut that off. And I'm going to do that to all these tails, and then I can show you that I already have my second piece made. So I'll weave in these tails and then I'll meet you back here and we'll join them and do our finishing bits. It is now time to put these two pieces together, to crochet them together. So the backs have all been sewn in. if you can see random long cat hairs, unfortunately, or not unfortunately, because I love her, I have a beautiful long haired cat. Her name's Bella and she's black and white, and she likes to sit on top of everything, including my yarn. So I'll pop a picture up of it for those who are interested in unsolicited cat photos. But if you see the random white hair, that is why. So we're going to join them together, and I'm going to use red yarn, so I'm using the contrast and colour to our last round. And I'm going to do a slip knot onto hook, sorry. Now, the round that we single crochet down, that is going to be where the face goes. So we are going to be joining the top and the back of these pieces. We are not going to be joining the bottom and the face piece. So if we hold these together, here is the face. We will be joining the top and the back, and that's it. We're going to be leaving this part open and this part open. So we have wrong sides together, and I have my yarn ready on my hook, and I'm going to insert my hook into the last corner that we did 2 single crochets and 3 half double crochets. I'm going to insert it into the first single crochet in that corner, and then I'm going to insert it through the consecutive stitch on the second piece, which means the same stitch on the second piece. And I'm going to yarn over and pull through, put that tail in between, and then yarn over and pull through. So I have joined the yarn and done my first single crochet. So what we are going to do is we are going to go through a stitch on the first piece, and we are going to go through the same stitch on the second piece. So we are going through 2 stitches, yarn over to pull through a loop, yarn over and pull through both loops to complete a single crochet. And we are going to do that right the way across the work. So we're going to go through a stitch from this piece and a stitch from the second piece, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. So we are literally single crocheting the pieces together as we go. So single crochet through both pieces all the way across the top, and when we get to the corner stitch, so both corner from both pieces, we're just going to do 2 single crochet into that space, 2 single crochet into that corner, and that's going to allow us to turn so we can work our way down the back of the hat. And we're going to continue to go through a stitch from each piece, from each of the granny squares. And now I'm at the very bottom of the work. I'm back at the next corner, so there's a corner on both pieces. I'm going to do 1 single crochet into that corner. No, I'm not. I'm going to do 2. I'm going to do 2 single crochets into that corner. So we have joined 2 sides of the piece together, and if we open it, we now have 4 sides that are not joined, but they look a little bit messy and unkept. So what I would like to do is create a single crochet chain, starting from where we've just finished, no longer crocheting the work together. Now we're going to crochet 1 side at a time. I'm going to continue and single crochet across this piece all the way up, and then when I get to the top, I'm going to turn, single crochet all the way down this side, and then all the way back to here where I'm going to fasten off. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to single crochet this opening so it's neater. So now I'm only going to hold 1 piece at a time. I'm not going to go through both, but I'm still going to go through 1 stitch at a time, but just from 1 piece, and I'm going to create a single crochet border around. As you can see, just 1 side of the work, because we want to keep that gap unjoined, obviously, so we can stick our head in. when I get to the last stitch of this row, so it would be the third double crochet, the third half double crochet. I'm going to do 2 single crochets there just to help turn the work. If you do 2 stitches in one at corners, it just helps turn that work a little bit easier and gives a more sharper corner. Right, let's single crochet again, just in one side all the way up. And then when we get to this top section here, I'm going to single crochet into that first stitch of the very beginning, just to join them. I'm going to single crochet into that so there's no gap. And then I'm going to flip my work over, and I'm going to pick up the opposite side to the piece I've just been working on, and continue to single crochet down that side. If you've made it to this far in the video, I'd love it if you could let me know in the comments, or if you lost the will to live at this point. But if you have made it to this part, I'd love it if you could leave something like a red heart in the comments. At least I know my information's getting out there to people, eh? Right, so we're at another corner. I'm going to do 2 single crochets here. Again, just to change the direction of the work. I'm going to pick another spot to insert my hook. Sometimes it's not worth fighting with a stitch, just pick somewhere else. So I'm going to do another 2 single crochet, rotate my work again, and then single crochet back to the beginning where we started. I've only got this piece of yarn left. That's it. Do you think we'll make it? Yarn chicken is the scariest type of chicken that is out there. Fingers toes, everything crossed. We're going to do it. So I have single crochets in all them stitches, and when I get back to the join, I'm going to single crochet into the opposite side just to join the red so it flows nicely all the way around, and then I'm going to chain 1 and pull through the tail. There's times when I've crocheted before and I've literally had like an inch left of yarn. It's just worked. So let me weave in this end, and then we'll finish it off by doing our tie, our necktie. So we are so close to being finished. So we have the headpiece. It's like an old-fashioned bonnet really, isn't it? So this is the front where your face will be, and now we are going to attach a collar or a tie around the neck. So they don't look like much like this, but when they're on, I really do think they look cool. And they're so warm because it's super chunky yarn. It's really warm as well, which is exactly what you want. So I'm going to be using the pink yarn because it'll be contrasting to the last colour we used, which was red. And I'm going to slip stitch or slip knot onto hook. One day I'll say that right first time. And I'm going to chain 35. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 and 30. Bella, stop that. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Bella wasn't getting any attention, so she decided to scratch the chair. So we have a chain of 35. I am then going to single crochet around the bottom neck part only of the piece. So I'm going to start with my work facing this way. So this is the face part where your face will poke out. And I'm going to pick any stitch at the bottom, insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. So there are 2 loops, yarn over, pull through both. So I've done a single crochet, and I'm now going to single crochet around the bottom of my work. Just the bottom this time, because we're just creating a small collar of sorts. Okay, and when we get to the other side, after my last single crochet, so just to show you where I am, I've gone all the way around the collar, and I'm back at the opposite side after my last single crochet. So this is up to your judgment where to end. So you might end a stitch before or whatever. It just so it's at the base of your neck. And to finish, I'm going to chain 35. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. I'm going to cut the yarn, pull through, and then I'm going to do another knot at the very, I'm going to pull that tight, and then I'm going to knot one more knot at the very end of at the very end of the chains, just making sure it's in the right place. Then I'm going to pull super tight, and I can cut that off. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other side, with the other tail. I'm going to pull it tight to begin with, and then do another little knot. Make sure to get it right where I want it to be. Pull tight and cut. And there you have the finished balaclava. I know it doesn't look like much on the side, but when you put it on, people are definitely going to ask you where you got this from. So let's take the measurements of this. So with chunky yarn and a 10mm hook, it's 11 inches by 10.5 inches. So remember, if you wanted this to be a bit smaller, you could always use a smaller hook size, or you could use smaller yarn, thinner yarn. I just like the super chunky yarn because it's so warm and it feels so nice. So this is again the balaclava in different colours. This was made using Aldi So Crafty chunky yarn. Let's see if this measures the same. I used the same hook to make this, and this measures 11.5 inches. So this one worked out slightly bigger. It's funny because chunky yarn, depending on what brand you use, depends how chunky it is. They're never all the same. It's like a size 12 ladies dress isn't always the size 12 wherever you get it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. It's free and it really helps my channel out. If you make this, I would love to see it, and you could tag me on Instagram using the hashtag Teenie Crochets, or you could always email it over to me. I do like looking at what you've made, and when something's extra special, I do like to put it on my website. So other than that, I will see you in the next video, and have a good one. Bye now.